Only the Bulls, only the Bulls, only the one and only Chicago Bulls.
Doom doom ba doom doom ba doom 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 ba doom 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 ba doom ba boom ba doom 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 ba.
Who can set the court on fire?
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome back to another episode of Running with the Bulls podcast. Adam and Josh, and we're 4-0. All right, we didn't see it coming. You didn't see it coming. We're happy about it.
I mean, I would have been happy if they were 2-2. You're telling me they're 4-0? I was so surprised by this. But they're playing incredible basketball. Vucevic thinks he's Jokic with the way he's passing the ball. I mean, it's phenomenal to watch. He seems really happy to be here and really happy to be playing in this system. And they're third in defensive rating in the NBA. If you would have told me the Bulls would be third in defensive rating, I would have said, are you kidding me? I would have thought you were joking. Because let's be real, last year they were a pitiful defensive team for most of the season. They were 18th. It's not great. It's not terrible either. But to start third to start the season, I mean, that's really impressive.
Games, but we'll absolutely take it. Trey Jones, man, what a pickup he was coming
Leading
over.
the league in steals right now.
Unreal. And you know, as far as Vucevic goes, what a concept. You get the ball stoppers that are Levine and DeRozan off the team, and all of a sudden, like, the ball moves, you know? But
I mean, it's moving. The thing I love, they're fun to watch. They all make the extra pass.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. Giddey's averaging 8 assists. Vooch is averaging 5. Kevin Huerter's averaging 3. Trey Jones is averaging 7.5. They're second in the league in assists per game so far.
It's incredible.
It is.
I mean, playing good defense, moving the ball. It's just good ball, dude. I mean, like,
yeah,
it really is kind of that simple. Like, I was breaking it down for a friend last night, and basically what I told him was, when you force your opponent to sprint a marathon, because that's what the Bulls do. You know, we talked about, like, kind of taking that Pacers blueprint where they have a deep enough bench where they can play at, like, breakneck speed. You'll notice, like, when the Bulls are doing their inbounds play after the other team scores, like, they're still like, hey, I made a shot, and the Bulls are already back the other way with it. Like, you cannot take a second to breathe because the Bulls are going to get back in transition and try to keep you uncomfortable. And so I feel like they've been kind of keeping teams in deep water with that. You look at that Kings game last night on the day we're recording this. In that Kings game, you know, in that second quarter, there were some moments where you're kind of a little nervous. You know, they closed the quarter strong.
Here's why I wasn't too nervous. The Kings were shooting 70% in the first.
Yeah, not sustainable.
Exactly. So I was like, listen, at some point it's going to even out and the Bulls are going to start coming back. And the question is, can they start coming back? And then they just rip faces off. And there was no stop.
Pretty much blown them out. But yeah, like, the Kings couldn't, like, most teams aren't capable of, like, playing that style of basketball for 48 minutes. And then, you know, like, they're shooting well. They're playing good defense. Like, it's not rocket science. It's just pretty effective. And I think that what's been the most fun to watch part of it is Matas Buzelis.
I agree. You know, we're seeing Matas really maturing as a basketball player. He's averaging 17 points a game right now. You know, I'd like to see him rebounded a little bit better. He's only averaging 5 rebounds, but, you know, the Bulls are a gang rebounding team in a lot of ways, besides Vucevic and Giddey. You know, but you know, the guy who's been really stepping up the most, Kevin Huerter. I mean, he shoots a lot of threes, but Kevin Huerter's getting into the paint. He's showing he's got a nice inside game as well. He can finish at the rim. He's been playing really, really well. He's averaging 3 assists himself and 4 rebounds. Overall, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 6 guys averaging in double figures right now. And you've got a 7th guy averaging 9 points a game, and that's Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams is playing very aggressive. He had a solid game last night, but he's playing with confidence. The whole team is playing with so much confidence, and it's just an exciting brand of basketball to watch. Now, I will say one thing, and the Bulls are going to have to prepare for this. It's not going to last. You're giving up 7 threes a game on 27 attempts. That's 26% from the field. That is not going to sustain itself. You are not going to give up 26% shooting from three.
It does, though.
If it does, then I don't think they're going to lose that many games at all.
Yeah. We're talking 98-0, baby. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see. Man, Trey Jones, getting out there, kind of does it all. Like you said, that's crazy to think that like he's leading the NBA in steals, but so many people thought that this dude was just like
He was a
throw-in
write-off,
to make
Let's be
cap
real.
space
People
work.
thought he was a write-off. I mean,
Yeah, no, this
but
guy's
I
a really
remember
good
watching him
basketball
in
player.
San Antonio. I remember watching him in San Antonio, and I remember always liking his game. I mean, listen, if Greg Popovich can trust you to play good minutes, you're going to do some good things.
Yeah.
And, he didn't get a lot of minutes last year. He did not. But then he goes to the Bulls in that trade, and let's be real, they won the Zach LaVine trade. I don't think that there's anything. I can't say that they didn't because they got 3 incredible role players for that. For one player who's literally Zach LaVine has a great game, and if you want to just take a guess what his plus minus was last night.
Minus 14.
Minus 23.
Jeez. See, it's like we've seen this movie over and over and over with LaVine, and like if there's ever some final proof that we won the trade, it's the Bulls beating up the basically 2021 Bulls. I mean, like last night, it was just a bizarre to watch, like DeRozan and LaVine. And, I saw with Zach, and I want to get into this a little bit. I want to get your opinion on this, but like I saw, some fans embracing him. I think that
they should. He was a great player for the Bulls.
He was a good player.
You make 2 All-Star listen, they did a video tribute for him. I think it was deserved. I think they did one for I don't know if they did one for DeMar. I don't know if they did last year. I don't know. But you make 2 All-Star games, you deserve to get a little praise for that. Absolutely.
Let me ask you this though. Just as far as like which player would you rather have on your team? I'm going to name a Bull who never made an All-Star team. Who would you rather have? Kirk Hinrich or Zach LaVine?
Kirk Hinrich.
Kirk Hinrich.
Kirk Hinrich is one of the smartest. Kirk Hinrich was an insane defender, one of the smarter basketball players. People forget that in the playoffs when he played in 2004, 2005, people forget in that Wizards series, he was dropping 20 and 8. People forget he was really playing really good basketball when he needed to step up for the Chicago Bulls. He played great basketball. Kirk Hinrich's a much better team player. Mm-hmm. He helped keep the Bulls afloat when Derrick Rose went down. Played very, very, very well, and he was he was a part of those good Chicago Bulls teams for the baby Bulls. And this team is starting to remind me of those baby Bulls. They're fun to watch. They have an identity. They push. Now it's not the same identity because that team was, ground and pound and score like 95 points.
It's a different era of basketball entirely.
I think in 2004, 2005, I think they went 24 or 5 games in a row giving up less than 100 points. You're not going to see that today. You're just not going to see that. And so, you had a different team, but Kirk was a great role player who played his role perfectly. Zach LaVine is good at what he does, but he doesn't help you win games. Kirk Hinrich, all he did when he was with the Bulls was help you win basketball games.
Where it feels like kind of empty calories on the Zach LaVine stat line.
That's a good nickname for him. Empty calories.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just like it can be fun to watch and stuff, but like it would drive me nuts. And he would make a lot of shots. And LaVine does make a lot of difficult shots. He's I'm not taking anything away from his talent, but his play style.
It doesn't
work. It's not
work.
a winning style.
It doesn't work. And it's nice if you're like a third option, like. If you're a third option like an Austin Reeves, that's fine. If it's the playoffs, like, listen, you and I have seen what the Lakers do. You and I both know Anthony Edwards was salivating when he was playing the Lakers because he knew Luka can't guard me. His fat butt couldn't guard me. Now he's in shape, but it doesn't matter. He still can't guard me. You know Austin Reeves couldn't guard you, and you sure as hell knew LeBron couldn't guard you because he's too old. So, you're looking at a team now that plays very good team defense. And like I said, they don't need to play great defense 48 minutes. They can give you one quarter of really good defense. They can go up 15, and that's the game. And just hold Fort down. So that's what I'm
like the effort has been like
effort
more
is
consistent.
insane. Now,
Yeah.
there are some concerning things, like they're 30th in 2-pointers allowed and 30th in field goals allowed inside the 3-point line. They're 30th in both those, but they're only giving up 55%, which is 17. So it's, they're giving up a lot of points in the paint, but it's not as efficient as you would want to see. They're 7th in field goal percentage right now, the Bulls. They're 10th in 3-point percentage. And believe it or not, they're doing better than they did last year free throw wise. They're averaging 25 free throws, which is way better than they were last year. Because if you look at last year they averaged only 19.7 a game. So they're averaging 6 more free throws per game. Now, to be fair, free throws in the NBA are way up to start the season. I think they said there are 11 teams. I think Tim Legler said this on Bill Simmons' podcast. Like 11 teams are averaging 30 free throws, which is insane. But, even so, you've got to, this is what I wanted to see from the Bulls. This is what I wanted to see. Team basketball, make the extra pass. Everyone's playing their role, and they're all playing their role very efficiently. And it's going to be nice to see what they do tomorrow night, because I got lucky because a friend had an extra ticket to the game, and I'm going back tomorrow night, which is going to be fun.
That's awesome. Yeah. And you were there in person last night. Yeah. Let's talk about that Knicks series and I'm calling it a series because I got back-to-back games against them because they're playing
fair.
against Sunday. So calling it a series. I do think the Bulls are at least going to split.
I would probably guess they'll split. And don't forget that Karl-Anthony Towns is shooting 35% from the field right now.
He's hurt.
And he's got a bad quad. He's injured.
Yeah.
So it's going to make things a lot harder if he's not at 100%, because Vooch can easily take advantage of that.
Well, the Knicks, look at what did them in last year. And I think they did do a lot of positive things in the offseason. But we've talked about it before, what do the Bulls do to make the Knicks uncomfortable? The same thing we talked about at the top of the show with that pace of play. And the Knicks, they made the bench a little bit better, but it's still not that deep. And I think that the Bulls will be.
It's much deeper than it was. But I will say this. The question is, are they responding to Mike Brown's coaching? I'm not sure if they are.
Oh, what? They're 2-2. I mean, it's early.
It's early. So, I'm not going to say they're having, I'm not going to say it's doom and gloom in New York. I'm not going to go there. They've actually had a pretty tough schedule.
I think they're going to be a really good team. I mean, shoot, they were my pick to come out of the East.
I think they were mine, too. I think they were mine.
Yeah, we both had them coming out of the East, and I know we weren't the only ones. I think it's just a matter of
it's either them or Cleveland.
Yeah, and I still probably think that. I'm not about to say the Bulls are coming out of the East. I think that 4 games in, I'm very happy with 4-0. But I do think that they will be able to do enough to keep the Knicks uncomfortable, and they'll take at least one of these games. But I don't think that they're going to be 6-0. I'm thinking 5-1 by Sunday night.
And that's fair. It's going to be a really tough game, and this is the first game of the in-season tournament, by the way. So there's more incentive as well. So it'll be interesting to see what the court looks like tomorrow night if they're going to play.
It's because the Bulls, they have the gray one. You see that one?
I saw it. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting.
Yeah. So we'll see. It looks better than the red
knows,
one.
The NBA has an in-season tournament. They have the NBA Cup. So here's the teams the Bulls are going to play. They're going to play the Knicks. They got to go to Milwaukee on my mom's birthday, Friday, November 7th. That's the second one. Then it gets a little easier. They play Miami at home, and then they go at Charlotte for the last one. So, I expect them to go 2-2 probably in those. Probably 2-2. I don't expect them to make the Cup, but, I think 2-2 is a very reasonable thing. But, they might have a problem. Charlotte can run with them because they're very athletic. Charlotte can run with the Bulls. So it'll be interesting.
I think the Bulls are just so much more talented than Charlotte that I think they'll beat them. But it
No,
is
I
going to be
agree.
interesting to see what happens when the Bulls run into a team like Oklahoma City is the obvious one who can really adapt their style. But like there's teams who can run with the Bulls and are just as deep. Like I think the Nuggets are going to give the Bulls a lot of problems. I expect the Bulls to get blown out in some games when they run into some teams that are like, "Hey, we get what you're trying to do and we're
It's
better
not
at
going to
it
work.
than you are." Yeah.
Yeah, some teams are just going to be better at it, and it's
But
simple as that.
the Bulls are doing a really good job at like enforcing their style of play on their opponents. And I look at a team like New York, and I do think that that's going to be effective. It's just a matter of like New York's still a more talented basketball team. They have better players, and so it's like kind of will the Bulls style be enough to outscore them? You know, like if you are playing faster and you're getting more possessions and you're making more threes and you're making it harder for the other team to make threes, like you can beat a team that's better than you. And we see that every year in March Madness. That's one of the beautiful things about basketball is because like style of play is so important. But like I'm excited because I didn't think the Bulls were going to be 4-0. And then, like, the four teams they beat are all pretty solid. I think the Kings are the worst of the four. But when we're talking about like the Hawks, the Magic, the Pistons, you know, like those are all pretty darn good teams. This is the first real test. Like, when you're talking about a team we expect to at least be in the conference finals,
Yeah.
this is going to be a good one. Knicks favored by 2.5.
It doesn't surprise me the Knicks are favored in this game tomorrow. It doesn't surprise me at all. You know, they're going to be fully healthy for this game. They're a little bit deeper. I would say the Bulls are still the deeper team in terms of overall talent. I would still say that. You know, if you and just remember the first game the Bulls played post All-Star break was against the Knicks, and it was a 2-point game. And that game went to overtime, as you remember. Josh Giddey had 27 and 16 in that game. Vucevic had 21. Kobe White had an okay game. Lonzo still on the team. He had 14 in that game. Julian Phillips had a nice game, but Jalen Brunson was 8 for 21. You're probably not going to get an 8 for 21 performance from Jalen Brunson that often. And, you know, Towns had 32 and 18, which is, you know, so you're not going to get the same from Karl-Anthony Towns either. So, and my question is, who's guarding Brunson? My guess is it's Isaac Okoro.
I think it's going to be some Okoro, some Dusumu, some Patrick Williams. They'll give him different looks, but I think the
That'll probably
primary
be three
defender,
different though, because you can't put Modest on him because he'll foul out
Trey Jones,
real
you'll see
quick.
on him a lot.
You think? Wait, say it again.
Trey Jones, I think you'll see on him a lot.
I don't think he's big enough. I mean, you
Well,
can.
Brunson's, they're the same height.
No, are they? Because I
Yeah,
know
they're both 6 foot.
no. Jalen Brunson's 6'2" and Trey's 6. Okay, I mean that can work. Trey Jones, that's fine if Trey Jones plays, but you
I
know,
think
so
they're lying on. I've stood next to Jalen Brunson. I don't believe he's 6'2". I'm just calling bullshit.
I'm sorry, but you're also you're not as tall as.
No, I'm not as tall as Jalen Brunson, but he's not 6'2". He's not as tall as my dad. My dad's 6'1".
Fair enough. That's fair.
So you know how they do it. They throw in a few extra pounds on there, throw a few extra inches on there for him.
I know how they do it. Yeah, I know how they do
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Like and like for Kevin Durant, like he's 7 foot. He
He
says
is
he's
7 foot
six
because I
nine.
remember they did that thing where they put him next to DeMarcus Cousins when they were playing USA basketball and he was taller.
Yeah, yeah,
Like DeMarcus Cousins without shoes is 6'9".
yeah. So
It's going to be a really interesting basketball game, and I really think this is going to be a lot of fun to watch. It's going to be a very competitive basketball game. I don't expect the Bulls to just lay down and lose by 20 points. I just don't see that happening. I think that they're going to come out and really play hard. I just don't see this being at home. They're playing at home. It's Halloween. I expect them to really, I expect a lot of fun jerseys, and I just expect a lot of fun basketball to be played at
yeah,
United Center tomorrow night.
a few key things as far as injuries go. Miles McBride is going to be back. I don't know about Gershon Yasabelli. Keep in mind the Knicks did add Jordan Clarkson, and so I think he's going to be able to play some meaningful
He'll give the Bulls some
bench.
problems, definitely.
Yeah, And so like they're going to have their dudes. Kobe White. So good news, bad news. Good news is he's running around again. He's pain free. But it sounds like when he tries to get in the like full go basketball stuff, he's still having a little bit of pain. So he's not quite ready yet, but I'm optimistic that they're going to get him back within the next, I think, week. Like maybe by this time next
I'll
week,
say
he'll be
2
back.
weeks. I wouldn't go. I think they're going to limit. They're going to say, listen, we're playing really well. We're doing fine
Yeah.
without Kobe. We'll let you come back when you're 100%. They don't need
How
him back.
exciting is it though that like the Bulls have been doing all this without their best scorer?
I mean, it's very impressive. I'm starting to wonder if Modest is their best scorer. I'm starting to wonder.
27 last night. What's great is you have like they're two
If
very
he can
different
develop
scorers.
a post game, if he develops like a post fadeaway or a post game, it's going to get terrifying how good he's going to get.
Yeah. Well, because
It's
he's
gonna be
got some of this
terrifying.
length of like how KD can kind of like just shoot it over top of you.
Yeah, if he works in the off season, like if he just works with somebody on his post game and says, "All right, I got to develop a post fadeaway," because let's be real, we've seen him play in the post, and he looks like a lost puppy dog out there. I mean, I don't know what he's doing.
I think it's gotten a lot better, but like he was getting straight up pushed around last year.
He was getting pushed around, but I see him in the post this year, and he doesn't really know what to do. He still doesn't really know how to play in the post. And I think in crunch time, if it's a half court offense, having a guy who can hit the post fade really quickly and get into his shot and get into his space, that's going to go a long way.
You know who I'd like to see him work with?
Who?
Tony Kukoc,
That would work.
right? I would love to see.
Tony had a great face-up game. He was good he had a good first step when he had his dribble.
Maybe
he
can teach
had
him
a
some
good
of the
post game,
playmaking too, you know?
Great playmaker, yes.
Yeah. Because like I've compared, I keep saying that he's like Andre Karolinko meets Tony Kukoc. Like
That's a good comparison, yeah. And the thing interesting, I didn't even realize this, by the way, is that, I mean, you were saying like, you think, I think Modest is going to be an all-star eventually. I just don't think it's going to be like this year. I think the all-star would probably have to be Josh Giddey if he keeps playing at this rate.
sure.
If the Bulls are a top 5 team in the East by February, Josh Giddey will be an all-star.
If they're top 5, they'll probably get 2 all-stars.
I would say 1 just because it's tough. I think Josh will be like the last guy to get picked.
We'll see. I mean, I think like the Bulls media market, like if they start to catch on and the Bulls get cool again, because I feel like I'm still having to like try to convince my like casual Chicago sports fans, because you and me, we're diehards. We suffer. We suffer if that's what it means. I remember there was one year where you like, I couldn't take it anymore. And that's okay, because there was one year with the Bears where I said, I can't take it anymore. And so like we had to take a little break.
Which year? Because it's been about 7 years if I can't take it anymore.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, like there was a one, and I was like, come on, man. And it was like, Paul Zipser days or something like that. And you're like, I'm getting rid of the season tickets or something.
I couldn't handle those either.
The dark days, man. But like, no, we watch the team, good or bad, for the most part, if we can handle it. But like, I've had to tell my friends, like, no, you got to watch these guys. They're super fun. And I think that like more and more of the fan base and they're gonna start to come around, because like right now, I think the idiot Chicago sports fans, and there's so many of them, I think they're very hesitant to like, oh, well, the Bulls are winning, but that's not good because they're not good. Hey, idiot, they're good.
No,
Watch them.
This is where I can understand why Bulls fans are a little annoyed. They want them to tank for this draft class.
Which is just so stupid.
Hold on. If the Bulls got AJ Dubance, do you know how happy I'd be? That guy is insane.
What are you going to do? Tell guys.
We were 1 draft pick position from getting Cooper Flagg. Could you imagine if Cooper Flagg was starting instead of Isaac Okoro? This team would be so scary. It's not even funny.
in the Mavericks and the Bulls, the Mavericks didn't tank. So if anything, you're arguing for them not to tank. The Mavericks were a play-in team just like the Bulls, and the Bulls lost the coin flip. Otherwise, they would have gotten Cooper Flag in theory. And so that just doesn't hold water to me. Like they've made it, the NBA has done an excellent job making it where like tanking does not really work nearly as well as it used to, because like those top 4 teams all have the same chance, and really you don't know who's going to get that number 1 pick.
No,
Because
you
I thought it
don't.
was going to
You
be, I
don't.
thought Charlotte or something, or like Washington, but like, no, it was the Mavericks who were in the NBA championship the year before. And so, like, if you're a Bulls fan right now, you got to look at this team and you got to look at how old the players are on the roster. And you got to say, hey, you know what? We can still get better by improving our young talent and adding somebody in free agency. It is not ever going to benefit you to just suck for the sake of sucking. That is a recipe for sucking. And like, we have sucked. So like, now we don't suck. We're finally good. And the people who were mad that we sucked want us to suck again. Those people want pain. They want to be in pain. They're stupid, frankly. You know what is good for winning basketball games? You know what a good recipe is for making the playoffs? Winning basketball games. It's like almost if you win, you could make the playoffs. And we were all talking about, oh, I don't want to play a team. I don't want to be a playing team.
Jim
Well,
Moore,
they're winning games.
you know how you just sounded like Jim Moore. Playoffs.
I mean, it's just it blows my mind. And
Playoffs.
like it does like piss me off that just like some of the Twitter noise, and I'm just like people still finding a way to be negative. Just smell the flowers. They're 4-0.
Yeah,
Just
I agree. I mean, you got the 8th youngest team in the league. If Vucevic wasn't on this team, they'd be the 2nd youngest team in the league. They'd be
Yeah.
the 2nd youngest team in the league right now. And let's be real. If Vucevic was not on this team, they would not be nearly as good.
Yeah.
I mean, Jalen Smith is a nice backup center. But Zach Collins is 10 times better than Jalen Smith.
Collins a lot, but he's not the passer or the shooter that Vucevic
No,
is.
but he's very good on rebounding. He's very good at cutting to the basket, and he's a very good
Defender.
rebounder. So, and
Got
he'll
some
be
foul
fine
trouble.
when he comes back.
Yeah. And that's the thing with Buzelis too, is he gets in foul trouble way too much.
Yeah, but that's he'll get better at that as time goes on. I think he'll get better.
Yeah, we'll see. So like we said 43 wins.
I think we said 43. Right now, I think we're relatively on pace for that. I mean, if the Bulls start sick, if the Bulls like get to a crazy streak where they're like 10 games above 500, like by mid-November or maybe December, I'm going to start thinking 47, 48.
Yeah. And moving up to 45.
I think 45 is not. We said at best they're going to win 45 games. That was our top. That was our best. And they're looking right now like they could win 45 games and be a top 6 seed in the East.
They're looking like they could win 47.
I think so. I mean, it's possible. It's just let's see what happens. We don't know what's going to happen as the year goes on. There's a lot of basketball left. A lot of we don't know what injuries are going to come. We just don't know. There's a lot of unknowns left. But if they stay fully healthy, I mean, you never know. It's just the Bulls can sustain this level of pace. But let's remember, it's 4 games into the season.
Yeah.
And there's just going to come nights where they're going to be tired from playing this pace. I mean, you're an NBA player. You're going to be tired running this pace. You're just going to get tired at some point.
I do think that they're probably in better shape than most of their opponents because they're used to this style of play. And so, and also like, if you put them against some top heavy team, I mean, you saw it with the Kings last night, like by the end of the game, the Kings were out of gas. And so I think,
Completely.
the Bulls will be tired some nights.
The
but I
Knicks are
don't
going to
think-
have a similar issue because if the Bulls were playing the Knicks 3 or 4 times during the regular season and Tibbs was still the coach, believe me, they would have a serious problem because,
Right.
Tibbs doesn't play his bench, and then you're running up and down the court like that. How much time you're going to run a 6-man rotation for 40 minutes? Each player's playing like 35, 40 minutes. You're just going to run out of gas.
So the thing about the Bulls, though, is they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players who are playing more than 20 minutes a game.
And that's a credit to Billy Donovan, and his idea was we're going to play guys we're going to play guys in spurts because we need them to because of the pace we play. And
Right.
that's okay. And it works.
Like Vucevic leads the team in minutes so far at 32 and a half, but like that is why this is going to continue to be sustainable for them. And I think that number is going to go up. Jalen Smith's still playing 13 a game. It's not like he's far off, but like this is not your Thibodeau teams where it's like 40 minutes, 40 minutes, 40 minutes, 40 minutes, 40 minutes, and then like 8 minutes, 6 minutes, 5 minutes, and then nobody else ever plays. And I know some of those Bulls Thibodeau teams, like the bench mob was a crucial element, but like I think that this Bulls bench is like quietly pretty underrated when you consider that like a lot of these dudes have been good starters on good teams. Like Kevin Huerter was a pretty important starter for the Hawks a few years back. He didn't really get used the way he thought he was going to get used in Sacramento. Trey Jones was the starting, not on a very good Spurs team, but he was like the starting for the Spurs. I know this guy's not necessarily a starter, but like Isaac Okoro, I think him and Patrick Williams are kind of like in the same boat, same draft class. Both had higher expectations than they performed so far. But both young enough where like they could still develop into pretty good basketball players. But like,
I think you get here's the thing. I think you get like here's the thing. And this isn't a knock on Isaac Okoro. This isn't a knock on Patrick Williams. They've been in the league, 5-6 years? At some point, it's just like, you know what? This is what the heck they are. It's not a bad thing. It's like when Evan Turner got drafted, everyone was like, oh my God, he's going to be this. He's going to be that. No, he just was Evan Turner. It's just what he was.
Turner was always Evan Turner.
And he's not Evan Turner wasn't a bad basketball player. I'm not saying he was, but was he worth the number 2 pick? Absolutely not.
And he talked trash to D Rose when they were in high school.
Back then he could. He was allowed to back then.
Yeah, well, Rose knew he was going to get the last laugh. What are your thoughts on Patrick Williams right now? I mean, like, because we've seen it before where
I think he's fine in the role he's playing. He's a good bench player. He's a good bench piece. He's a good role player. That's all he is. He's shooting the 3-pointer with confidence. Like he took a 3 last night.
Lights out from 3.
Yeah, I mean, and he's shooting really well from 3, but some of those shots are a little too far for me. Like he took a couple threes last night, and I was like, "What the heck are you doing?" And he made them. He made them, so I was like, "Okay, fine."
Because I remember last year you were like, "Well, he's having a horrible shooting season," and I was like, I think he's going to turn it around because, like, on his career he's 40%. But yeah, like last year it was a career low on 3-point at 35%, and this year it's
last
the
year
first
it was
4
under
games.
40. He was under 40% from every single thing except for the free throw line. I mean, it was terrible.
Yeah. So I mean, like the fact that his shooting numbers are back up and then some, just it seems like more effort, and I don't know what it is like, but he just looks like he's playing harder.
No, I think the whole team's playing harder. And also, I want to mention this. Why is Noah Sengay not in the G League?
Not in the G League?
I don't even know why he's on the team right now. Like, he's not going to get any minutes. He's not. So what the heck is he doing on the team?
I think he'll bounce around.
Let him play in the G League for the rest of the season. Let him go develop. We did this to Modest last year. Let him play the first half of the season in the G League, and then maybe you could play him in the second half of the season if he's ready.
We'll see what they do with him because, I mean, he hasn't been on the floor yet, right?
He hasn't even played 1 minute.
He played 1 minute?
He hasn't played a single minute so far.
Yeah, because I haven't seen him out there.
No, I haven't either.
Let's make a couple predictions. So we got the Knicks tomorrow night.
I think that's a win, and I think they beat them tomorrow night, and then they lose at the Garden on Sunday.
Okay. I am going to say I'm going to contradict myself. Bulls win both games.
They win both games. You and I are going to start throwing a parade.
I mean, I'm going to let myself enjoy this.
And then they go play Philly on Tuesday, and I'm probably going to that game too with my cousins. Hopefully,
go see VJ Edgecombe. Yeah, man. I'm going to let myself enjoy it because they're better than they thought. They look better than the Knicks so far. So I'm going with the Bulls, but I do think
it's going to get tricky because they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the first 7 at home, and then I think they have 10 of their next 13 on the road. And here's the teams they got to play on the road: Milwaukee, Cleveland, Detroit's going to be tough. Utah's not terrible this year, but I'm not.
Utah's playing a lot better than I thought.
I'm not worried about friggin' Utah. I'm sorry. I'm not worried about the Jazz.
With 50 the other night.
I mean, okay, good. It's Lauri Markkanen. I'm not really worried about Lauri Markkanen. Denver. They got to play Denver. Portland. Then they play Miami at home. Then they go back to play they have a back-to-back against the Wizards and Heat. Then they play the Pelicans, not worried. They play the Hornets, I'm not worried. Play the Pacers, not really worried. Looks like the Pacers are trying to tank or something. I don't know what they're doing. And then they play the Magic, and that's going to be a revenge game. But they beat them on the road last time, so we will see.
Yeah. Well, that's all the time we got for you, my friends. Thank you for listening to another episode of Running with the Bulls podcast. Patrick Ecstatic on the tunes. Check him out on YouTube. If you're enjoying the show, tell a friend to tell a friend. Leave us a friendly review. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, Spotify, wherever, please give us a like and give us a follow. Closing thoughts, Josh.
Very excited. I was not expecting this. I really was expecting them to start 2-2 or 1-3. Generally, I thought they could start 0-3 to start the season. Maybe.
Yeah, I remember you said that you were worried they would.
Because I thought it was going to be 3 really difficult games. I'd be like, here we go again. This is what I was thinking. 4-0 was not on my mind at all. Not at all. So I'm very impressed by what they're doing.
See how it goes. Go Bulls. We'll see you next time.
Go Bulls.
Who can make the madhouse rock? Only the Bulls. Who can shoot, jam, and block? Only the Bulls. Who can fly in full stride round the floor? After losing little battles, coming back to win the war. Only the Bulls. Yeah, Bulls. Only the Bulls. Chicago Bulls. Only the one and only Chicago Bulls. All around the world, they know this team will survive. Who's got the pride, the glory to keep the dream alive? Only the Bulls, only the Bulls, only the one and only Chicago Bulls. Who can fly through the air? Who can get them off their feet? Who can always snatch a victory from the jaws of defeat? Who can play the toughest defense, shattering the score, get Chicago up and rocking, crying out for more? Only the Bulls, only the Bulls, Chicago Bulls, only the one and only Chicago Bulls. Ay, 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 ay. Ooh, Chicago Bulls, yeah. Chicago Bulls, ay, ay, ay. Chicago Bulls, ay, ay, ay. Chicago